Hey there, here we go. So right now I'm scraping off just the lint and stuff that has gathered underneath the cellophane cover that I keep on my clay when I'm not in the middle of sculpting. Uh, and somehow those little bits always find their way up under, and you want to get those off before you begin sculpting. Now remember, we put a small piece of tongue inside the mouth, and we push that down in the center, and that makes a tooth ridge. And you can use white clay for that. Here I chose to use flesh colored clay. Now we're going to further detail that and make that into the teeth. And I just begin making the little teeth, just sculpting them in there. This is probably not the most effective way of doing it, but I find when I sculpt the teeth first and then I try to put the little dentures in, they almost always aren't the right size or don't look right. So I just like to sculpt them in place. And you can press them in a little bit more, make sure they're not too fat. You can actually sculpt the mouth just a little bit wider than what you intend it to be, and then you can just gently squeeze it back closed. That way you have room to work. You make some pink clay for a tongue. There we go. We have a tongue. I like to press the center of the lip like that. It's just a style choice. You certainly don't have to have that kind of lip. And I'm just going to press the tongue in, but I'm not going to detail the back of the mouth that much, but you really can. If you have a very wide mouth, then you can even work on the tonsils and really flesh out the interior of the mouth. Drawing these three prongs defines that little mound that's in the middle of the upper lip. Then with some kind of small spatula, you push the upper lip clay towards your center lip mound. And you form that really nice shape there. See? Fabulous. I'm doing the same thing with the upper part of the bow, drawing that down towards the mound. This Super Sculpey clay is very soft, so I like to just barely caress it to add details. Sort of coax out the pillowy shapes of the lip. And we'll pull this fat corner in so that looks a little bit more natural. You should have a photo of an open mouth for reference. That would make it a lot easier. See how the lower lip has kind of a teardrop shape? Like two teardrops butted with their heads butted together in the center. And then the tails go up into the corners of the mouth. Now that we have our shapes, just go in with the cat's tongue brush and soften and smooth the lines. So make sure we want it to look very pillowy and soft and organic. You can go in and add little wrinkles in the lips if you like that fussy little detail, or you can paint those in later. This is citrus thinner. Just a little dab on your brush. That will smooth out your crumbs, your little lines and tool marks. This little piece is your upper teeth. And we're going to press those in so they don't look so goofy. And we just begin shaping the teeth how we want them. Sometimes not very much of the upper teeth will show. It depends on the character and the expression. Now, aren't you eager to see what she's going to look like, or at least get an idea? We'll just pink up the lips, and that will help us see a little bit how she's going to look. I also really like the pastel chalks because it sort of becomes one with the clay, and you don't have a painted on look. So I really like to blush it before baking. And with tweezers, we give our little gal some fangs. It can be a little tricky to get those in correctly. And of course they have to be at a good angle. It'd be a little fussy like it is here for me. You have to be careful not to nick the rest of your clay while you're putting them in. You get the idea. I want to pink up the lips just a little bit more to make them more saturated, because after baking the chalk pastels do lighten up quite a bit. They really won't be this intense after baking. And I'll probably do paint on top of this as well. That's just me, I like to overkill. Some pinking in the eye as well, give it a little extra life. And we are about done. So I'm off to videotape the rest of this. You'll get to learn about detailing the eyes, the nose, and maybe even the ears.